Hi, in Chef with Glass, today we are going to cook one of my favorite, Dal Makhni. For this, I have taken 250 grams of black dal or whole Urid, soaked for a few hours, and Rajma or Pento beans, again soaked for 4 to 5 hours. The water I used for soaking them, I kept it aside. It was roughly 850 ml for both the elements. I use a pressure cooker for boiling them, so on medium heat for 45 minutes roughly. I also added a teaspoon of salt for boiling as well. I used 30 grams of ginger and garlic, so it's peeled and ready, and we'll see what I did with that. So I'm using a mortar and pestle instead of chopping them, and here is my end result. To tell you the truth, I think maybe it's personal, but I think this kind of a paste has more flavor than chopping these items. I also used 3 medium tomatoes, and I'm gonna use a blender. In the blender, I already soaked 3 Kashmiri chilies, deseeded, instead of using the red chili powder. So here's my nice and smooth paste. The trick for making a nice smooth paste for me is to do it, stop it, let it settle, and do it again. Do it at least 3 times. In the pan, I've got 3 tablespoons of butter, again on medium heat. You gotta make sure the butter doesn't get burnt. And in goes my ginger garlic paste. Right, again medium heat. I'm gonna keep stirring it to make sure that it doesn't get burned. Okay, let's check on our dal. So the dal is looking quite good. Let's just double check our ginger garlic doesn't get burnt. Here we go. So it's looking good. You can feel that it's not sticking and it's starting to get cooked. Now, one of the most important thing, right? Chef with a glass. Where is the glass? Here comes the drink that I'm going to have today. So it's a gin with tonic. So let's make sure we got our drink ready. I'm gonna pour a decent size, not too small, not too big. Here you go. Drink is ready. Let's put the tonic water. It's difficult to do both things, holding the phone and making the drink, but hey, it's important, right? So my drink is ready, and I'm just gonna have a quick sip and also make sure that our ginger garlic aren't getting burnt. Okay, so it's looking good. All those bubbles, nice bubbles. Yeah, so keep stirring it. At this stage, you might get a feeling that it's sticking, but it's not. Just getting cooked. So here we go. We got a nice color coming up. So at this stage, you got to be really careful. Turn the heat down. Make sure you keep an eye on it because it can get burnt quite quickly. It's almost ready to put tomatoes in. So in goes my tomato puree. So I made a really nice smooth paste. Like I said, I blended, I let it sit for a minute, and then I blend it again for a few seconds and then let it sit. I just want to make sure there's no tomatoes left in it, and there's no little chunks of chili either. So yeah, speaking of chili, I forgot to show you the actual chili. So here is my jar. You can see these are just standard Kashmiri chilies. I just used 3 of them, deseeded, soaked in water, and blended. So I don't want to waste any of the tomatoes, so I added some water to clean the jar and back in the pan. I cooked the tomato for another 10 minutes on medium heat, and you can see there's a color now and ready for dal to be put in. I added all the dal and some extra water, probably say another 200 ml, just to mix it all well with the tomato puree. Okay, so I'm gonna keep stirring it and just make sure. I didn't put enough salt yet because the butter that I used was salted butter. But yeah, you can put salt. Just check the seasoning whenever you like it. It's at this stage. It's on medium heat. I'm not gonna turn it to. You can turn the heat up if you want. But yeah, I'm just making sure all that excess water or extra water that we added is getting nicely mixed up with the dal. So once it's all ready, let's say after 5 minutes, I'm gonna put some jeera powder. So there you go, the boils are there. I put the jeera powder about a teaspoon or a little bit, 1/4 of a teaspoon extra. I forgot to show you guys that, but yeah, it's one and 1/4 of a teaspoon of jeera or cumin powder, that's called jeera, cumin powder that I added. And after mixing it all well, I'm gonna cook it on medium heat again for another 20-25 minutes, and then we'll see it again. So after 15-20 minutes, I can see the boils, and now it's time to put some garam masala. So I put again half a teaspoon of garam masala. Again, it's up to you. You can put a little bit more if you want, but that's enough for me. So I've also cut ginger into julienne, and I'm gonna show you how fine it is. I take pride in my cutting and chopping skills. But anyway, there you go. So I've added to the dal, and I'm not just gonna mix it. And at this stage, dal is basically ready. If you want, you can add some cream in it to make it thicker to go with that naan bread. I'm gonna have it with rice, so I wanted that little runniness. But in essence, the dal is ready. Great. Cooking is done, and now it's time to enjoy that drink. Thank you for watching. Cheers.